Dear scholar, now I am going to explain about systematic sampling. Systematic sampling, which is also called interval sampling, is a probability sampling technique that selects population element at a fixed interval. This sample method can be used when there is an available list of all elements of the population of interest, or when convenient sample is selecting using fixed interval, also called selecting survey student entering school building. Systematic sample is also practical when the sampling frame covers a well-defined spectacle area. For example, selecting every fifth room from a college dormitory. In education research, systematic sample could be used to sample students from roster within a school or to select a parent for a survey using administrative list of email address, among other situations. This interview principle of systematic sample, the relation between systematic sampling and select other sampling method, and practical consideration of implement. What are the basic principle and estimation procedure? When an order list of population element is available to serve as a sampling frame, for example, a list of all students in a school, systematic sampling is straightforward. In this case, every kth element from the sampling frame is selected, starting at element chosen at random from the first k. First, determine a sampling interval k is equal to capital N over N, where N is desired sample size and N is the number of elements in the population. For example, to select a sample of 100 students from N, a number is equal to 1,315 students, K is equal to 13.15. So we will divide the total N by the small n. Second, generate a random sample start with 0 and k to determine the first element of population to be sampled. We can use Microsoft and other software for this purpose. Third, k to be random start rapidly. For example, if 5.16 is random start, the number generated will be 5.16, 18.31, 13.this, etc. Finally, round the number to integer with then the least position of sample element 5, 18, 31, 45, 100, 1305 like this. This procedure will result in selecting exactly 100 individuals at approximately equal interval. Note that if the random start is less than 0.5, round to integer will yield 0. And the first least position will be selected after the first time k is added. In the case of flow sampling, where sampling frame is unavailable, establish a sampling interval based on the desired proportion of the sampling. The sample being with yi is a value of outcome on trust for ith sampling element. Now, relationship to the other sampling method. If the population list of random sampling is similar to the simple random sampling, however, using sampler random sample in a set of the population element has the same chance of being selected. Now, I would like to share the practical consideration of this systematic rambling sampling. If the list is ordered by auxiliary variable that is related to key population subgroup, this will implicitly stratify the sampling, increase the likelihood that the sample will include element with a range of value of the outcome of interest in proportion to their representative in population. Ordering the list by auxiliary variable can also reduce sampling variation of the estimate of population parameter. Ideally, the variables used for the list ordering are available to prior sampling for all population elements, such as student administrative data. Ordering variables that are closely related to the outcome of interest will yield the greatest reduction of sampling variation. When studying student test score, a student previous test score may be more used for ordering variable than the number of days the student was absent from the variable. If the frame has a periodic order, for example, list of students ordered by homeroom and alphabetically within each homeroom, selecting sample that is represented of population requires a sampling interval that does not correspond to the periodic pattern. In the case of the student homeroom list, a sampling interval equal to the number of students in each homeroom will select only students from the same part alphabetic. When the sampling from is spatial area such as a door, room or apartment along a built-in corridor, or care must be given to determine list order to avoid such periodicity. Common statistical software including SPSS have built-in capability for selecting systematic sampling. In cases where population list exists, systematic sampling easily execute in such software. So, dear student, I hope that now you have understand what is the systematic sampling and how can we calculate the this type of the sampling and what software will use. If you like this lecture, please subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon and also write the comments.